Everybody, welcome to another episode of Nerds Drink Whiskey. I think today we're going to commit some larceny, and it's a $30 bottle. And do we know what the proof is?
92.
92. Okay, so it's 92. 92 proof. That's kind of a little closer to what I'm used to, what I've been drinking. And I like to drink it right before bed, just a shot or two. And when you get into the 100 proof or 90 proof, it just kind of helps to just calm you down, and chill you out and get you ready to just go to sleep. So
warm and mellow.
I thought that was breakfast whiskey. Gets me all fired up to go
deal
with the day.
Maybe lunch right before work.
Yeah. Well, especially right before work.
Yeah. No, I don't do any before work. No. And by the way, we have another co-host here. This is my buddy, Salacious. If you know, I talk a lot about Salacious and what a big fan I am. If they ever wanted to do a big budget movie with Salacious Crumb, they're doing standalone films now. I don't know. I think Seth Green could probably produce that.
It'd be really good.
I mean, Jim Henson's long dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Henson family is kind of not really been doing great with the latest Muppet stuff. So I don't know if I trust them, but I think Seth Green could direct. Maybe get Spielberg to produce. And if not, someday I'm going to figure out how to do a fan film of Salacious if they don't do a major budget standalone film for Salacious Crumb. So he's my buddy. He's by far my favorite Star Wars character. And last series of episodes, I gave you, what was that actually called?
Dingleberries.
Dingleberries, yes. They were chocolate covered gummy bears, I think.
Yes.
From a company called It's Sugar, and they had actually called Dingleberries. And that's what I gave him for Christmas. This is what he bought me for Christmas. So Salacious Crumb. It's he's my buddy now.
Long live Salacious Crumb.
Yes, I love my buddy Salacious. So my wife is worried that I might take him to bed with me and and snuggle up to my Salacious Crumb. But I'm not speaking.
That reminds me of a little scene in a movie with him curled up and the big guy and Salacious Crumb.
There was a movie with Salacious Crumb other than Star Wars?
No, but who's the big creature that he cuddles up with?
Oh, Jabba.
You're Jabba.
Yeah.
So yes, if you take him to bed, you're Jabba.
That's it. I'm leaving. Is that a fat joke? Come on, fat joke? That's low-hanging fruit. Anyways, we're going to commit some larceny. You wanted to talk a little bit about a Natalie Portman movie that's coming out.
Well, it's called Annihilation, and I really don't know anything about it. You might want to be closer
to the microphone.
There.
Yeah.
Okay. So this movie, and I really don't know anything about it. I've seen trailers for it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it looks really cool. I don't know anything about it. If anybody has any information on it, have seen it, certainly put some comments in there. I've been seeing nothing but excellent reviews for this movie, so it's really making me start to want to watch this movie. All I know is it looks cool. It has Natalie Portman in it, which I don't really care either way, but it looks good. So I've been hearing good things.
Yeah,
I'm curious about seeing it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's supposed to be an actual decent intellectual sci-fi movie. So not just a blow stuff up or whatever, the next Contact kind of thing. So.
Well, speaking of blowing stuff up and totally not being intellectual, did you hear Transformers is getting a reboot with a different director?
Oh, thank God.
Well, after number 6 fell through, I read that the last one production fell through on it, so
he's still making a Bumblebee solo movie. I know.
Oh, Michael Bay is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I gotta say, it's Transformers. I don't mind it being a little dumb. I don't mind it being a little, big explosions, special effects,
That's
action
fine.
Adventure. It was okay, but I would like to see if somebody else can do something different with it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna reboot it, make it so completely different than what Michael Bay did, and I think that sounds very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean the Transformers, and I grew up playing with the toys, reading the comics, watching the cartoons, and the movie is just fantastic, by the way. But there's a really complex story in there. All the characters have a backstory, and there's just, it's really cool. And he's really dumbed it down to just big robots and explosions. It could have been called anything other than, I don't remember his name, but the guy that actually was Optimus Prime, his voice is played by that guy in the Michael Bay movies. But there's so much they could have done, and they've changed it so much. Michael Bay did. The robots, the Transformers, they don't look like they did, and how they should. And some of the storylines are there, but completely changed. And that's good to a point, but to the point of, unless you really knew the Transformers, you won't even get that it was an old Transformers thing. So I'm just Michael Bay.
Yeah, he's kind of the generic action adventure, kind of director that you go to when you don't really want a lot of depth and you just want big box office and lots of explosions.
Yeah, exactly. Great marketing for kids.
You want to mainstream it,
The reason the Transformers are the latest movies are the way they are is because you are not the target audience.
That's exactly it.
It's not even high school. No, it's Chinese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those movies don't do very well in America. They're huge in China.
I think I've heard that. Yeah.
And they don't care about the story.
No.
They don't care about the characters. They care about giant robots blowing stuff up.
Yeah.
So
they're big fans of giant robots.
There's a reason. Yeah. So the first Transformers movie was great. It actually had all the things we wanted,
except for Shia LaBeouf.
Well, some of the things we didn't, but it had all the things we wanted and some things we didn't. But that was because it was made for American audiences that cared about plot and characters and story. The rest of them were made for China, and so we'll see if the reboot, if they're aiming for an American audience or if they're still just trying to go for the foreign audience, because that's where.
Well, what was that? What was that one movie that Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy? He was in that movie that had.
You're talking about Pacific Rim? Yeah, I was just going to lead up to that.
And they did a sequel to it without Charlie Hunnam, but I guess the only reason there was a sequel, even though it bombed hard in America, I guess in the Asian countries it did so well. That's why we have a sequel to that movie that just completely bombed in America. So if it's big robots, I guess they do well.
I'm looking forward to the new one, and Guillermo del Toro, who's the director of that, I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah,
and I expect this next one to be even better.
Yep, cool. So anything else we should discuss while we while we commit some larceny?
When's the next Godzilla movie coming out?
Don't they come out with one of those every week?
Yeah, an American-made one or a Japanese?
Yeah, there's going to be an American one. It's actually going to have Mothra and Rodan and all that. I don't expect a lot out of it, but what do you expect? You expect giant monsters fighting, which is pretty cool.
I can't really complain about giant monsters fighting.
That's not bad.
I am a bigger fan. This is my favorite whiskey of all the ones we've tried so far.
Oh yeah,
of course it is 92 proof.
Yeah,
I like the higher proof. What's your thoughts, Jeff?
The whiskey's fine. I would be having a better time if I hadn't just burnt my mouth on pizza.
Yeah, totally. Same here.
Yeah, the roof of my mouth has more burning going on than it's supposed to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the whiskey's fine.
Okay.
It's just overshadowed by the secondary effect of disinfecting that wound that's fresh on my.
Well, I cut my tongue like several days ago, and it's healed now to where I can drink whiskey without that. But man, for a couple nights, it was like the first night that I did that after I cut my mouth. It was like, it's like you don't do the swish around your mouth. You don't move your tongue around a little bit because it's going to burn your tongue. It's going to get on that tip of that tongue, and So, Salacious, what do you feel? I'll take his sip. He's not in the drinking mood, I guess.
When it comes to this larceny, actually, I was looking forward to trying this out anyways. I had seen it all over Facebook, and a couple of buddies of mine had sent me links about this Larceny bourbon. I'm like, okay, well, I can't seem to find it, and then it turns up here today on NDW, and
it's and this is straight bourbon.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. What's the specifics of straight bourbon? That's
mostly corn, and then whatever else, and aged at least 18 months, I think.
Now I thought with the age, I thought with straight bourbon, I thought it was a little more than that, 2 years.
It might be, but
I don't know.
I think in order to be called bourbon at all is 18 months. Straight bourbon, I don't know if that's longer or not.
I think there are certain things about straight bourbon that you can call it. It's easier to be called bourbon than it is to be called straight bourbon.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the difference is. As far as the technical, this one specifically is a lot of wheat, other than the corn. But it doesn't say how long it's been aged or in what. Just says
now you were saying that this has more wheat.
Yep.
And less corn.
No, well, it still has as much corn. It needs at least 51% corn, but the other 49% can be whatever. So that's where you get your rye and you get your malted grains and all that kind of stuff. It could be more. It could be 80 corn.
Oh, okay. Because I'm thinking this has a little higher than normal corn content.
It could, yeah. They could put as much corn.
That's what I'm tasting.
Yeah.
It's but. What did we say? 30 on this?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say for $30, it's not bad. This is definitely my favorite. This is my favorite out of the month of March so far.
Certainly.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So I don't know, Ed, for $30.
For $30, I would buy this, no problem.
Yeah.
It's didn't have quite the bite that I was expecting coming into it, knowing it was 92 proof. It burns a lot more on the back end and it lingers. But yeah, $30 all day long. That's no problem.
Do you have to let it linger?
Well, I would have, but I hear that's dead now.
So I don't know about anybody else. I'm not a big fan of the cranberries. And
No.
one thing that always bugged me about it is when she says zombie, like she has this beautiful voice, and then she says the word zombie.
Nails on a chalkboard.
She says the word zombie, and it sounds like a cat coughing up a hairball. You know?
Pretty much, yeah.
Zombie. Like, come on, wait, what happened to your singing voice? What is that? I don't know. But
she recently died, right?
Oh.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Was that
Seriously.
disrespectful?
Too soon, guys.
I don't know.
Too soon.
So let's see
Yeah,
how the
it's not
comments-
too soon because this won't be playing for
Right.
It'll have been a month.
Well,
by
yeah.
then.
I want to see how many comments can we get down below of too soon. Just everybody comment too soon on the comments below.
Do we still?
So-
They never released why.
Yes, they
Yeah.
did.
Oh, they
Did
did.
they?
Yes,
Okay.
they did.
Well,
It was a drug overdose.
Okay, that was
Okay.
the suspicion.
Yeah,
it was
she
a
was
drug
rather young
overdose. It was said by the coroner it was a drug overdose.
not prescription
Fentanyl.
or
Fentanyl.
it was prescription. Okay. yes.
No,
Yeah.
fentanyl's the heroin.
It was synthetic
kind of like
fentanyl.
methadone.
Yeah.
They found the
Bottle.
prescription bottle
Okay.
in her stuff.
Okay.
And that is
In
a
her
prescription
hotel
thing,
room.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
something
okay.
you take when you're trying to get over heroin addiction.
No, fentanyl is the pain.
It's a major painkiller.
Oh, okay, all right. So, but anyway, yeah, I mean, sorry, never been a fan of the cranberries. I suck. I'm a yeah. So, all right, well, so I think I don't know, Jeff. What's your pass or fail on Larceny?
It's okay.
$30.
Yeah, I drink it.
Okay, you think it's worth the $30? Recommend?
Sure.
Okay, Gabe.
I recommend this personally. I was looking forward to it in the first place, but for $30, it's actually really surprisingly smooth. I would definitely buy this for $30.
Yep. All right, so $30. This is our first recommend of the month for the month of March. Larceny. It's straight bourbon, and yeah, it's good stuff. So, anyways, see you next week for the last of our. Well, actually, not the last because you've got a
two,
Scotch coming up, but the last of our inexpensive bourbons. So, see you next week.